I don't know. Like it's a scary topic, right? Whenever you dive into fear,
No pun intended. Well, what's going on, guys? Kelland Mark Wilson, digitalfreedommovement.com. On today's episode number 3, we're going to be discussing fear and some of the different emotions and feelings that hindered Mark and I, as well as countless others, prior to starting a business. So some of the things we're going to be talking about, like what holds people back, why don't people take action, and what that could ultimately mean for their future. So I don't know. How do you want to start this one off, Mark? I'm gonna.
I don't know. Like it's a scary topic, right? Whenever you dive into fear,
No pun intended.
or was it? Yeah, I mean, for me, my biggest fear was like I was inadequate, that I didn't deserve success in the first place, or I wasn't smart enough to have success. One of those things, being born with like learning disabilities and being told you're stupid your whole life. That's just what happens with it. And when you're trying to push yourself to next levels, for me, it was really, really scary because I didn't think I would be able to learn skills. It was even like going back to my mechanical days. I remember we brought, because we're an oil change shop, and we brought like tires into the facility where we're going to start doing tires. I was even reluctant to like learn to do tires because it was out of my norm. And I was like, well, what if I don't do it well? Somebody could get hurt or whatever. It was always that what if was in my brain if I couldn't do it well. And now I do everything at a high level. So it's crazy because I was able to overcome that, right?
Yeah, it's funny. Like we stress this so much. It's you can become good at anything that you put effort into, right? So like Mark, your first day, working at a mechanical shop, you sucked ass at it, but you learned over the years and you became really good to the point where you were actually managing the whole store. So it just goes to show. And same with me, doing tires. I was just a young, rail of a kid, no strength in me whatsoever. It was difficult, it was hard to do, but as I pushed forward, it just got easier.
Well, he even broke land speed records. Like he broke a land speed record taking off tires. I'm just saying.
Probably not. Like I was really, really fast at it with 1-inch impacts and like semi tires and stuff like that. But yeah, like with anything, you with enough time and effort, you get good at it, right? So I got to a point where I could do it with my eyes closed. And now the same thing has happened for marketing, online business, stuff like that. A lot of our students will ask us questions in the training, and I'll just know immediately what to do, what they fucked up, what they did wrong, and tell them exactly where they need to go to fix it, or what they did wrong. So it's just experience, it's just time. So yeah, fear is a big one, like but fear is such a broad spectrum. So it could be like, so Mark, you said that you were afraid that you were inadequate and you weren't going to be successful with it. I feel like that's a big fear for a lot of people. One of the bigger fears that I had was, I also had the same fear, like, oh, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I don't think I could figure this out. But I had hit this like breaking point in my mind where I was like, well, again, like I already explained to you, it's not about how quickly it's going to take me to get results and to become good. It's the fact that I'm going to, as long as I don't give up. And I didn't care whether that took a year, 2, or 10. As long as I was consistent, I was going to get good at it and be successful. So anyway, so the next big one for me, Mark, I don't know if you had the same thing, but there was fear of loss, bro. So I was afraid that I was going to spend money and not make it back. I was afraid to lose money. And so this was so significant in hindering my action taking abilities and hindering me starting the business in the first place. Because as you guys know, I followed a guy like me for over a year and a half before pulling the trigger. And I came to the realization all I had to do is simply shift my perspective. And it was, if I don't do this, so if I don't spend this money on training, if I don't spend this money on advertising, where will I end up? And the answer to that question was still working a job, still trading my time to make money, still hating my life every single day. And I said to myself, nope, not gonna happen to this fucking guy. So I got past that fear. And luckily for me, and I don't see this happen to a ton of people, but I became profitable extremely quickly. I did over 5 figures in my first 5 weeks online of running advertising. So, but I would say there was definitely lots of hustle in there, but there was a lot, I think there was some luck as well, to be, kind of unbiased in that regard. But But yeah.
I think it all comes down to like your focus, right? Like as you were saying, like the perspective that you had, if you stayed focused on like, oh no, I have to spend $5 today, instead of like, I get to spend $5 today so I can make this. And I know you spent more than $5, but that's an easy example, right? That is exactly what either deters people. It's just where their focus is. If your focus is, it's like, well, it doesn't matter how long it takes, but I know where I'm going to get. Like that's your focus. That's sweet. But if you're like, well, I've already put in this much effort, and I haven't got what I want, all you're doing is you're afraid of spending any more money, and you're afraid of failing, and that's where your focus is. Instead of like, being like, well, this is sweet. I learned so much already, even, and it's been like a very small amount of time. And that's where it really all comes down to, I think, in business and success and with fear. Either you get to focus directly on that scary demon that's in front of you, the fear and all the, self-loathing and disbelief that's inside you, or you focus on that future thinking of what can actually happen for you if you just apply yourself, right?
Oh, 100%. Well, actually, Mark, you could agree here. A lot of one of the biggest ones that Mark and I deal with on a daily basis, being online entrepreneurs and online coaches, is skepticism, fear of being scammed. Okay, so many people are terrified, and they should be. Like, there's a lot of crazy shit up there online, right? Like, fuck, I've bought so much shit off of e-commerce stores, like Shopify stores lately, and I literally did not receive half the products I bought from these stores. I don't know if it's due to shipping or if they're just scamming websites, but it's a bitch. So, skepticism is appreciated, but that's as well something that Mark and I didn't really have to go through, because my mentor went to high school with them prior to him even being a coach or, being successful online. So I knew him prior to making that initial purchase. And then the same thing with Mr. Mark here. So Mark can actually meet me at a bar. So I don't know, you can elaborate on that if you want.
Yeah, for sure. And it really suppressed the amount of fear. And I think that's one of those things that really, really help getting into anything, is if you can actually talk to a real live person. And I think that's one thing, the reason why, how we came in is the reason why we do our business the way that we do. I mean, we have been able to expand to having tons of coaches that are available right now at your fingertips if you wanted to actually talk to somebody that's part of our company, which is, I think, tremendous. And there's not many companies out there that will actually offer that, to talk to a representative in the online state. And I mean, that was the great part was I got to meet Kelland and see who he was at, like, in a very casual setting. So there's no him hiding anything at that point in time. He didn't even know he was going to meet me, so it's not like he could put on this crazy persona. And then I got to know him as we shared a table together. So it was good. And when you actually get to know people on a different level, I think that really helps suppress the fear, because it's real, instead of just this fake Lambo lifestyle that you're like, no way this person actually lives, right?
That's when you said persona, I just immediately thought of myself like rocking like a tiger coat, like walking with these like snakeskin boots or some shit, like something I would totally do.
I was just gonna say, I can see you doing it.
Oh, just rocking it, just killing it. But yeah, so like you worked with me prior, so there was not much skepticism from him. It was just more so like we already talked about, fear of being inadequate, and possibly potentially from our fear of loss. I don't. It doesn't seem like you really went through that though, because you were like fuck this, I'm in. I don't care what you say. I'm gonna come in and crush this. So
yeah, 100%. I wasn't afraid of like the loss of that. I was afraid of actually judgment. Like that was my big thing. So like I actually shield my wife from a lot of the things that like I was doing, and like some of the turmoils that I was having, because I was afraid of her judgment, and I didn't want to let her down. So I was really, really scared of letting her down, essentially my family down, where I wouldn't be able to provide them the lifestyle that I wanted to, and I would have just picked up a bunch of debt on that. So for me, I was really, really scared to share that with her, because I was dealing with enough inside myself already that I was like, I can't take on anybody else's judgments.
And that fear of judgment, that's another good one to bring up and talk about. We sometimes hide things from our friends, from our families, because we don't want to be judged. And you should be afraid of that. I told all my friends, all my family, what I was doing after I got started, and every single, pretty much, like, some of them didn't really say anything, and others put me down. They're like, you're an idiot. Like, this is not going to work for you.
How many of those people that put you down are still your friend?
There's a few.
Yeah. I have zero. All those people I cut out because I was just like, you don't believe in me.
I just distance myself from those people because I didn't need that type of negativity in my life. And when when you're getting negativity from all these different angles from people that you care about, it can mess your head up pretty good, and it can make you second guess yourself and second guess your own thinking. And that's what you don't want, because ultimately you are the only one that will, let yourself fail. You're the only one that can stop you from getting results and seeing success at whatever business that you start. So it's, positive mindset does go a long way. And, in regards to your friends and family putting you down at the beginning, that's something you don't need. Mind you, if you can't speak English. If you're already getting results and making thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, plus per month, you already have that confidence, right? You already have that confidence in yourself, and no matter what anybody says to you, you already know you've won. And so at that point, it doesn't really make a difference. But it's funny though, like all those people that kind of put me down at the beginning or didn't really say much or didn't really support me, now they're like, oh, we're so proud of you. I'm just like,
I hear this story, and it was this person, he won the lotto, and before he won the lotto, he won the lotto, he found out, and what he did was he called up all of his friends and family the day that he won the lotto, and he asked every single one of them for $5,000. And every one of his friends and family said no to him. So then the next day, he announced that he won the lottery. It's a lot harder for people to ask you for money or to come at you for what you just got when they have put you down or said that they wouldn't be there for you. So I feel like anytime that any of those people that weren't there for me try to come up to me, it's just like, it's laugh. Because you weren't there in the hard times. Why would I let you be here for the good times,
Right. Hell yeah. Well, I think we had a good chat here today, guys, on fear. If you guys have any questions, do not hesitate. You can send us an email at info@digitalfreedommovement.com or simply comment on the post if you're watching it on Instagram, Facebook, or any other social media platform. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you for tuning in to the Online Entrepreneur Experience by DFM. We want to hear from you. If you have any questions for Kelland or Mark to answer on our next episode, email us at info@digitalfreedommovement.com. We'd love to answer any of your questions. And don't forget to tune in next week for another amazing experience.